So today I thought we'd do a long-term review of my Merida E160 900E. And I've had the bike now for nearly 8 months. So I've had plenty of experience of riding it across a whole range of different trails, downhills, XC, and basically had it all over Scotland. So I want to give you a sort of warts and all feedback on what it's like to own the Merida, what it's been like, and the great things about it, and the stuff that not so great. So let's start with the Shimano 8000 steps motor and battery. So I've actually found this motor to be very reliable. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. It's producing about 70 Newton meters of torque and probably giving around 320% assist at the highest level, the highest boost level, and that's been absolutely more than enough power to get me up virtually every trail that I've been in fact every trail that I've been in. Oh my goodness, it's so easy climbing up these switchbacks. So it just makes going uphill in this takey stuff just fun. Such a challenge to see how fast you can do it. Yeah. The only thing I would probably say about it is it's a little whiny. So the sound resonance of the Shimano motor is got a slightly high pitched whine to it, especially when you're really utilising it and you're using it to go uphill. So if you're into really quiet motors, then this one's a little bit more noisier than others. In terms of the battery, so the current battery is attached to the down tube, as you can see, semi-integrated onto the frame, and the battery is 504 watts of power. So I've been getting reasonably good mileage out of it, especially if you play around with eco and trail modes. You can really stretch it out to probably in around 50 miles or so worth of trails. So generally pretty good. The battery is really well integrated in the frame, doesn't rattle at all. Very impressed indeed. I think if in the future, if Merida and Shimano were going to continue their collaboration, what I would like to see is I'd like to see this fully incorporated into the down tube, and if Shimano could stretch the battery a little bit more to 650 or even a bit more worth of watts, then that would be fantastic. Just gives you more miles, and you wouldn't have to worry too much about the battery running out. I think in all the trails that I've done and all the miles that I've done on the bike, I think I've only ran out of, no, in fact I don't think I've ever ran out of battery, but I've been very, very close to it a couple of times when the red light's been flashing. In terms of the rims, well, it's the DT Swiss rims that are on this bike, and matched with the Maxxis Minion DR2s. These have been an excellent combination. Cope with it well, so cope with it when it was damp, cope with it in the mud, and cope with it in the dust. So happy days. Yeah. Well, in terms of suspension, the front forks are the Fox Factory 36 with the Kashima coating on it, and these have these are 160s, 160mm travel, and they've been fantastic. It's smooth as butter, really good for going over virtually everything, whether you're doing step downs or some of the jumps, or go over rocks or rock gardens or anything like that. They've worked an absolute treat, and we're fairly straightforward to set up. You've got lots of different dampenings and control features you can muck about with your heart's content. Yeah boy, the suspension is excellent. Back we've got the Fox Float X2s, and again this is the 160mm, again with the Kashima coating on it, and I found this rear shock to be really good as well. So I'm not really that much of an aggressive rider, and I'm probably not getting the most out of these, both the front suspension and the rear shock, but it's been fantastic for me, and it really does smooth out the braking bumps and any rocks and stuff that I'm going over. And it's, oh, this Fox factory 36 suspension, smooth as butter. Yeah boy. So in terms of the drivetrain, this is a Shimano drivetrain, and I've had absolutely no problem whatsoever with this. I haven't had the chain coming off, the derailleurs worked absolutely brilliant, matched up with the DI2. In terms of the crank, I've kept the factory cranks on. These are 170s that are on here, and yeah, you get the odd pedal strike, and maybe I would look to shorten them slightly, but it's fine. I've just put the wee protectors on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of the dropper post, it's a RockShox Reverb stealth dropper post, and it's been okay. It did break. There was a wee part in it about this size down in here that did actually break, and I had to get that fixed and replaced. But yeah, it's okay. So these Shimano Saints brakes and disc brakes, so I think it's 203mm disc rims that are on it, and these have been excellent. I've no complaints whatsoever about them. And last but not least, I have stuck with the original seat. I'm going to actually, I will be replacing that. I've stuck with it over the summer. I just felt I had to give it a little bit more time, but it's going to get replaced soon, certainly for the new season next year. Yeah boy. So mechanically, the Merida has been great, and it's a fantastically set up bike. Geometry wise, I'm not going to go through all the numbers and stuff like that. You can, if anybody's really interested, they can check all these numbers out online, but it's basically an enduro geometry that the bike has got, and I've certainly found it absolutely perfect for me. In terms of its positioning and how I feel on the bike, and the control of the bike. So other than fixing the dropper post, the only other thing that I've actually swapped out so far has been the grips. So the original grips were absolutely fine, but they wear out relatively quickly. Yeah, I've just put some death grips on here, and these are great, to be honest. So that's the only other thing that I've swapped out on the bike. Yeah. So if I was Merida, what would I change? Well, actually, not that much, to be quite frank. The Maxxis tires are great, the rims are great, the Shimano drivetrain is great. The suspension setup, I don't think you could ask for any better. The Fox factory 36s and the float and the rear shock, it's really, really good quality stuff. The brakes are excellent. In terms of, as I said, all the different sort of Shimano stuff that's on here, the motor, the battery, the control systems, and all that type of thing. It's all worked absolutely fine. The only thing I had was the Di2 getting a bit sticky, and I fixed that no problem. So not an awful lot that I would personally ask Merida to change. I suppose I'm not really sure about this dropper post, I'm not really sure about the seat, and it would be fantastic if they could wrap round an integrated Shimano battery, if they were going to stick with Shimano, an integrated Shimano battery. And Shimano, if you're listening to the video, which you probably aren't, but if you were, it'd be really good if you could make the battery have more juice in it. If you could get it into that 650 or even higher, that would be perfecto. And while you're doing that, if you could put the torque up to about 90 newton meters of torque and make it the noise resistance slightly quieter, that would be ideal. Yeah. So there you go, that was my long-term review of how I've got on with the Merida eOne 6900E. Overall, it's been a great bike, seriously, an excellent mountain bike for the pricing point as well. There is some fantastic components on this bike, and the geometry is really good as well. If you've never tried one of these bikes before and you're thinking about getting an e-bike, I would definitely encourage you to go and have a test run of one of them as well. It really does compete very well with a lot of the bigger brands that are out there, and that's what I've found. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and letting you know sort of what's and all what I've thought of the bike. I have had tons of fun on this bike, as you'll probably see from some of my other videos as I've gone around trying out different trails in Scotland. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please press like, and if you want to see more videos, just hit the subscribe button. And it's just left to say, have fun on the trails. Whoa.